Hello, welcome. My name is Marco. I am 19 years old and I have built my dream physique. This video is about lean bulking. All right, let me tell you a story. Back when I first got into bodybuilding, all right, there was a time where I was looking through YouTube looking for advice, as we all have, right? And the issue with looking through online is that there's a lot of misinformation. Unfortunately, the fitness scene is a place that has loads of misinformation, all right? And I'm not sure if you've heard this term, but if you have, please stay away from it because it has done irreparable damage to a lot of people's progress. Luckily, not to me as much, but it is a dangerous term, all right? It is called main gaining. Now, what main gaining is, in theory, it sounds fantastic. What it's supposed to do is you stay at your maintenance calories and you maintain a high protein diet and you train. The idea here is you're going to make significant muscle gain while still keeping off the fat. So you don't have to gain this fat where you would in a lean bulk. And then you get both of the good things, right? Best of both worlds. Unfortunately, it's a hard pill to swallow, but you need to bulk to make significant muscle gain unless you're taking steroids or something like that, right? As a natural bodybuilder, you need to do a lean bulk or at least some kind of bulk to set your muscle mass proportions, all right? I did not start with the proportions of my arm being that big in relative to the rest of my body. That's something that you had to build over time. And that's something that you can't build over time with main gaining, right? Your body needs these extra proteins to rebuild and place the muscle where you have trained it, right? So this is what this looks like. A lean bulk, right? You can check out the product in the description that I have going, where it's a step-by-step educational content creation where you get to see these playlists of videos to take you step by step on how to achieve your dream physique, right? It's really cool. It's not finished yet, but it is 50% off, so check it out if you can. W plug, by the way. But let's talk about it. A lean bulk is where you are at the very least a little bit of calories over your surplus. What this means is, let's say my calorie maintenance, which is how many calories I need to maintain my current body weight, is 2,800 calories. That is my maintenance. If I want to be in a slight surplus, I would want to put 200 calories on top of that to have a calorie goal daily of 3,000 calories. This is a 200 calorie surplus and is right in the lean bulk range. The reason that a lean bulk is much better than a normal bulk or a dirty bulk, for example, is because you are minimizing the amount of fat gain and trying to keep it relative with the muscle gain, right? We still need to be in that surplus to create muscle gain. But if we do a lean bulk, we're actually maximizing the amount of muscle, because if you are in a higher surplus, you're actually not making more muscle. That's something that's a little crazy, and they've done a lot of studies on that. But the point is, if you're in a 500 calorie surplus, you're not making more muscle than somebody who's in a calorie surplus of 200. So ideally, you want to stay in that 200 range, right? Because then you're keeping off more fat while still gaining more muscle, right? This is what people need to be telling you. Because the reason that main gaining got so popular is because it's a good solution. If it were real, everybody would be main gaining, honestly. And the reason that it seems like it's kind of real is because on your first year of training, you actually tend to make a lot of muscle gain regardless of what you do with your diet. So it kind of seems like it's working at first. Which is real tricky, isn't it? But these people, that's what they do, all right? They find these little loopholes, right? And they feed you on a new idea, right? This new idea is super shiny idea. Whoa, this is the new way of training. And even though it doesn't have a lot of support, because it's new, it gets traction, right? And if it has opposition, people comment down below, and the comments are like, yo, this is not real. This is some bullshit, Greg Doucette. This is not how muscle hypertrophy works. That's feeding the algorithm. So now you're feeding the traction even more. And that's why these kinds of terms get really popular on social media, but you need to stick to the basics, all right? The basics are so fundamental. The bodybuilding sphere has existed for so long now, about a century now. The things that work have worked for a long time. So those rules of thumb are what you should be living by. Training to failure, upping the weight the next week, right? Training consistently, resting, high protein diet. These are the things that we know are solid, right? So lean bulk is one of those things. Make sure you're on a lean bulk, right? Now, let's talk about some oppositions that make it a little harder to start that lean bulk, because maybe you're considering it, right? And also, by the way, if you're like really high body fat, you should not be on a bulk. You should be cutting. If you want to like get down to like the level. But if you're like skinny fat, like kind of how I started, you should absolutely be on a lean bulk. So let's talk about some of the oppositions that kind of keep us from doing a lean bulk, right? Or any kind of bulk in general. One of the biggest oppositions is ab anxiety. What is ab anxiety? It is you want to have abs, so you're scared of starting a bulk because it'll give you anxiety about losing your abs or not getting abs in general. Let me tell you some things about this. First of all, number one, abs, I know we hear that abs are made in the kitchen. You can only see them when they're lean. This is true. But they're also a muscle like any other. So if you're not in a bulk and training them to a failure, upping the weight every week, you're not going to see growth in it either, right? So you want to kind of train your abs, but on a bulk, so they grow, right? Then, once they're at a level that they're pretty strong, when you lean down, they'll be very, very prevalent, right? So that's the first thing. One, you want to train them hard. Second, something that might help your ab anxiety and still will keep you on the lean bulk is that the same concept of your abs getting stronger. If your abs are getting stronger, your abs are getting bigger, which means that even at a higher level of body fat, your abs might be able to keep up because they're getting bigger, they're getting stronger. So even at a higher body fat level, you'll still actually be able to see them. If you could see them when you were lean, you should still be able to see them when you're a little bulkier, right? And then finally, you need to get this lean bulk in because it's the only way you'll see your numbers go up after your first year of training, right? It's going to be hard to make muscle gain when not on a bulk. If you've trained while you're on a cut, you know how hard it is. You know how weak you feel in comparison to your other days because you are weaker. Your body has less resources. A bulk is literally just feeding your body the right resources so that you can actually get in there in the gym and actually make some progress. So overall, make sure that if you're at a level where you don't have your muscle base, which is where I am, I'm trying to build my muscle base. I think I have most of it complete, but a general basis of muscle. Like for example, if you're like 150 pounds for like, and you're like, what, like 5'10", 5'11", dude, you should be bulking. You should be bulking. For that aesthetic physique, yes, absolutely. Because let's bulk up to like 160, 170, 180. Then we can start talking about cutting you down back to lean. But you need that basis of muscle, right? And especially when you're young, it's the most important time because this is the best muscle building time. This is when your body will respond best to muscle building stimulus. So you gotta get on it. And building this base of muscle, honestly, if you're main gaining, you're kind of just putting it off. Because eventually you'll have to do it. Eventually you'll have to get there. Honestly, you will not be benching or 225 or squatting, whatever your next goal is, 315, if you're not properly bulking to get to that level. Because you need it for that strength variable. So bulk up to a bench number or whatever power lift is your favorite. I don't know. Mine is bench because we go way back, me and bench, for like this. But make sure you get your numbers in and make sure that you're benching it kind of consistent. So for me, I want to be at 225. I bench 215 right now, but I will be benching 225 soon. Very excited to do that, actually. And I want to be able to bench 225 consistent. This is really good because it means that I'm keeping the muscle that's on my chest right now, which is real nice. I mean, honestly, that's like awesome. Like, I keep the muscle that's on, and while I'm cutting, it stays there, right? So my muscle base stays. Honestly, as long as I keep training for the rest of my life, I will keep this muscle base, which is why that lean bulk is the best first step that you can take when you're starting out skinny fat. You want to start with that lean bulk. It is generational move because you're setting yourself up for success in the future, right? You're setting your little muscle base, and you will literally keep this muscle for the rest of your life as long as you literally you could do 20 push-ups a week and you'll keep your chest gains for majority of your life. I'm not even kidding. As long as you have a good diet and you're training maybe 3 hours a week, which is very little. Honestly, 1 hour a week. There's studies that show 30 minutes to an hour a week improves your health and maintains what you have. So honestly, just get on it. Trying to crush the ab anxiety, because I know a lot of people that have it. Trust me, you want to get on that lean bulk as soon as possible. All right. And plus that D1 footballer fit build is kind of fire. I can't even lie. It looks cool, right? That Aoi Todo, bulky but strong, where you can very clearly make out the Dorito back, and you still have this strong frame, but you just don't see the abs. That's not a big deal. Obviously, you'll cut back down. You'll see the abs eventually, but I think you should have some fun with that fluffy footballer build before you get down to the ab level. Because I'm not gonna lie, it's not even a bad build. It's an awesome build. You look like a football player that plays I don't know, like a quarterback or something, or somebody that plays in the front lines, right? It looks cool, right? So overall, get on it. I know I took a long break. I'm trying to get back into making these videos because I want to help. I want to sell my course, and I want to at least share my nerdy ass knowledge, make it worth it, right? Because it's kind of crazy. But yeah, thanks for watching. I'll see you. Bye bye.